Ready? Hello, everyone. We're going to be doing fundraising automation today. My name is Adeo. I'm joined here by Travis. Hi, Travis.
Hey, Dale.
Despite
Morning.
Travis looking American, speaking great English, he's in Mexico. Uh,
It's true.
and I'm going to visit you, hopefully, in maybe a week or so. I'm actually why come to America when I can go to Mexico and hang out with Travis in his hometown?
Yeah, man,
Go
it's a beautiful
Mexico. There we
lifestyle down
go.
here.
Yeah. So we're really, really excited. All right. Here's what we're going to do. In order to help you with fundraising automation, we're going to talk about how to do it. We're going to show you how to do it, but you can follow along and do it yourself. All right. So I need everybody here to open up a web browser and we're going to take you through fundraising automation, but we're going to just do it together. All right. So do me a favor. If you're on a mobile phone, reconnect on a computer. And the best experience that you're going to have for this particular demo and this walkthrough and this fundraising automation will be to use Chrome. So if you don't have Chrome, take a minute and get Chrome. While you're doing your browser and Chrome and setting all that up, we'll do some quick introductions. Again, my name is Adeo. I'm CEO of the Decile Group. We build the leading venture capital operating system, which we're going to be using today to show you how to automate fundraising. Actually, we is that more Travis. So Travis actually does the building. Travis, if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. Hey, everybody. My name is Travis Giggy. I'm the head of product and technology at Decile Group, and we build a hub for venture capitalists. It's getting better and better. As you'll see today, there's actually some quite amazing things that are coming into this platform, and I can take very little credit for it. I have a fabulous team that backs me up, and people that know everything there is to know about venture capital, like Adeo and Mike at the head. So
He's
I'm
just
just
humble. He
I'm
can
just the
take
monkey.
decent amount of credit for it, but I can take very little credit for it. Maybe I have ideas, but anyway, it's not about credit. It's about making venture capital awesome. We're going to show you how to do that right now. All right. So everyone with your open browser, that's Chrome. Hopefully you have that all set up. We're going to take you to decilehub.com and I'm going to give you something that most people really want but don't have access to, which is a coveted invitation code. So if you go over here, you're going to see this invitation code field at the top. Your invitation code for today is Discover. Discover, lowercase. Then you're going to want to enter your email. You're going to want to create a password. You're going to want to accept the terms of service and privacy policy. I'll just make a note on that very quickly, and then hit sign up. The sign up process will take a little bit of time. It's going to ask you your fund name and things like that. So I'll talk while you're filling that stuff out. If you don't have a fund name yet because you're working on your fund idea, just make up a name, use a color, use your last name. You can change that name later. I want to talk about the privacy policy for 1 second because people ask us like, oh, are you going to use our data, whatever. No, your data is your data. All right. We're not in the business of selling your data. We're not in the business of accessing your data. We're not in the data business. We're not in the advertising business. In fact, we're working on a new privacy policy that we're really excited about because it's like super clear. It's like, we're not in we're not going to be selling your data. But I want to make it clear to you now, we are all advocates and in my case, signers of the Mensarius Oath of Ethical Conduct. So we treat your data with the privacy and respect that it deserves. It is your data. I see someone has their hand up. If you do have a question, we didn't do Robert's Rules of Order. There's a Q&A button at the bottom of the screen, or is there a Q&A button? Yes, there is a Q&A button, and you can ask a question in there. You can use the chat to chat with each other. Well, hopefully everybody's gotten a chance now to create their account. I'm going to log in with my name here. This is going to take me, unfortunately, to private stuff, but I don't want you to see, so I'm now go to less private stuff. Okay, so once you've completed signing up, you're going to be taken to a dashboard page, and it's going to have a whole bunch of items on it here like this. And I'm just going to walk you through setting up Decile Hub. And in that process, we're going to be showing you how to do fundraising automation, okay? Because by setting up Decile Hub, you are setting up the ability to fundraise in an automated way. So, you know, one of the things, we have our own fund of funds. So you're going to be so the first thing with fundraising and fundraising automation is just so I'm going to assume a low net level of knowledge of fundraising. And I understand that some people here have a high level of knowledge and some people may even be experts, but I'm going to kind of explain things on a very basic level. So if you are raising a venture capital fund in 2024, you are going to need to pitch somewhere in the order of magnitude of 200 to 600 limited partners. And the variability of that range is where you're located. If you're in the United States, in Silicon Valley, and you're super well connected, maybe you need only pitch 200. If you're in Africa and you're starting a first fund and you don't have a lot of connections, you're probably going to have to pitch more like 600. A place like Europe, maybe 400. So heart of Silicon Valley, 200. So just step function, right? 2, 4, 6. That's a lot of LPs to pitch. And you'll probably pitch them over the course of 2 years. And there's all sorts of aging that goes on. So if you pitch someone a year ago and you don't keep in touch with them, that's a bit of a problem. So you need systems in order to manage that level of volume and level of complexity. And that's what Decile Hub is. It's a fundraising system. It's got pipelines, reminders, emails, events, so that you can do top of funnel prospecting to get hundreds of people into the top of the funnel, mid funnel cultivation, all the way down to bottom of the funnel closing, right? Because again, if you need to manage hundreds of LPs, you need top of funnel, mid funnel, and bottom of funnel. And I'll show you all those things. And before we go into configuring very quickly, the funnel system or the pipeline looks like this in Decile Hub. So we're in the fundraising pipeline. These are actually real, so I'm just going to remove them. So you have tools to remove things. You can collapse things. You can expand things. You can sort things by stage. You can unsort things by stage. So we have really powerful, good-looking funnel tools for you to use. And I'll get back to those in a minute, but let's start with just setting up the product. So one of the first things you're going to want to do when you get in, and hopefully by now everyone is set up and looking at this screen, using the Discover invitation code and going to decilehub.com, you're going to want to start adding prospects to your funnel. And so there's manual ways to do it, automated ways to do it. The first one we say is like, okay, add Decile Capital. So you can type in Decile Capital. Hopefully it will load. For some reason, it's not in this one. but the gentleman's name is Marco. He's not, oh, Marca, of course, spelling his name right. He's not in there as well. But anyway, so you can put you creating a new account will have Decile Capital in there. So when you type it, you'll see it there. You can just type a person's name, hit add. His email is marco@decilecapital.com. He runs our fund of funds, and then boom, I've added Marco to the prospect. If you just type Decile Capital, you'll see it there with a new account. And then, by the way, if I go back to that fundraising pipeline that we were looking at before, you're going to see there's Marco at the top because we just added him, right? So the first thing you're going to do is just test adding a prospect to a pipeline. Every fund has a thesis, and you can enter your thesis here, or you can look over here and enter it on your right with your AI. We have a ton of AI tools, so I want to just go through the AI thesis generator. Now, our system supports multiple funds. In your case, just setting it up, you're only going to have one. And I already have added a thesis, so it's going to say, do you want to edit this thesis or do a new one? I'm going to create a new one just so you could see the experience, okay? So when you want to have a thesis in the system, because that thesis will help the system find you LPs. It will help the system to know your target fund size, to do lots of things on your behalf and with you to succeed. So we make doing a thesis really easy. Where are you based? Well, I'm in Silicon Valley, so I'm just going to add Silicon Valley. I'm going to be US and Canada. What type of companies do I want to invest in? I'm going to invest in GovTech startups. What stage and fund size? Seed stage 7 million. I'm leveraging my partner's 25 billion exit from 10 unicorns. That's not really true. 20, let's say from one company. And what's my backup? I have a track record, and what's the name of the fund? Purple Ventures. So I submit this, and what it's going to do now is, with the information that you provide, and hopefully everyone's doing this as I'm showing it to you, it's going to start suggesting possible one-sentence theses and also give you feedback on how you might want to improve it. Now, what I recommend for everyone here is you can go through this thesis tool on your own. So quickly fill out the form and get a rough thesis in there right now. So once it will give you options, I want to say select number 2, right? So I'm going to type in here, select number 2. And what that's going to do is it's going to say, okay, you want to use the second thesis, right? This one here, number 2. And then update, and it's going to update the system with that thesis. And then, as I mentioned, you can always come back to the thesis tool later and refine it, update it, make it better at your leisure, right? But you want to have a thesis in there because we're going to start looking for LPs to populate the top of the funnel during this call in a moment. And one of the tools that you can use to do that is our Chrome plugin. So you're going to see install Chrome plugin right here. And there's a whole guide on how to do it here. But basically, you can click this link right here, and it's going to take you to a page. And then there's going to be an install link there. You click the install link, then you're going to see this gear thing, or I guess puzzle piece at the top here of Chrome. You click that, and if you put the pin empty, it won't show up. If you put the pin filled, it will show up, and it looks like that in Chrome, right? And you want to install the Chrome plugin, because what the plugin allows you to do is, whenever you're reading an email from an LP, or looking at an LP on LinkedIn, you can hit the Chrome plugin and it will add that LP right to your fundraising pipeline. And it's super, remember, you need to pitch hundreds of LPs. So you need to be adding a few LPs a day and prospecting with those LPs and managing them in the funnel. And we'll show you how to do all that. And the Hub extension is going to make that really easy. Okay. So what you want to do is after you install it and you click it like this, it's going to ask you for a API key, and your API token or key is right here. So just scroll a little bit down and you can hit that copy link. You could copy the API key and paste it right into the plugin, and then your plugin is live. All right. And I'm going to show you how to use it right now, because this, I'm going to just be blunt. What I'm about to show you before we did what we did would take you weeks to months to do. And I know this because we work with many, many limited partners. And it's going to take me minutes, but mainly because I'm talking. If I wasn't talking, it would take me seconds. So we've taken a process of researching LPs from weeks to months down to seconds. All right. This is probably the single biggest time saver for you, period. All right. So here's how it works. The next thing on the list is look for LP archetypes. Okay. So we'll click that. Again, I picked the fund. Now, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to say, hey, do you want to use this thesis? The thesis we just worked on. And sure, I'll use that thesis, right? You can change it if you want, but you can use that thesis. Now, it's going to start suggesting LPs for you to go after. Tech industry veterans that are angel investors. It gives you a professional background, former CTO, blah, 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 blah. It is also giving you search terms, okay? So here, tech angel investor, search, former, and it gives you LP archetype 2, family offices, LP archetype 3, tech executives. So what's happening is it's now looked at your thesis and is instantly creating profiles of LPs for you to go after very quickly, all right? And for you then to find them, you say tech angel investor. I just open it in a new tab. I'm taken to LinkedIn. Now, when you go to LinkedIn and you search for people, you're going to see that there's first, second, and third degree connections. For most of you here, I'm just going to save a lot of time. You want to go pitch LPs that are first degree connections, people that you presumably know. All right. Don't waste your time right now on second and third degree connections. Let me close all this notices here. Focus on first degree connections. So we're going to go focusing on first degree connections. Here's a guy, Suleiman. He looks pretty good. If you want to get their contact information into Hub, you hit contact info, and then you hit the plugin, and it's going to import everything about Suleiman into Decile Hub. So first it's going to create a profile with his email. Then I hit the import button and it's added Suleiman right to my fundraising pipeline. So if I go back to the fundraising pipeline, not only do I have Marco added, right? But I also have Suleiman added, right? Did you raise your hand to say something, Travis, or? Okay, you can just unmute and interrupt at any time, right? So I've also added Solomon. Now, think about what just happened, okay? In a matter of minutes, I was easily able to enter my thesis, develop archetypes for LPs that I want to look for, mine my network of first degree connections for people like that, add them to the a fundraising pipeline, and you know that was done in maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And if I wasn't talking, it could have been done in seconds, right? And so the time savings is ridiculous, but it doesn't stop there. All right. Now I gotta reach out to Solomon, right? So I'm gonna send him an email. And so we have pre-written email templates here. I want to introduce Solomon to what I'm working on, so I'll hit the introduction email. And it's like, this is a pretty boring intro, simple intro email, right? Well, I want to make it more personalized. I know something about Solomon because I got his information from LinkedIn. So I'm going to enable the AI assistant. The AI assistant's going to look at every email that I've done with Solomon. It's going to look at the profile of Solomon that the AI built, that we with using the tool, and it's creating a completely custom email for Solomon based on that. And then you can change it. Actually, Solomon's a good friend of mine, so then it will change the tone of the email. Or Solomon, I want to make it more funny, so it will write Solomon a funny email. You could change the language. Actually, Solomon's speaks Spanish, so you can put it into Spanish. So we've now gotten Solomon into the pipeline and written a completely customized email to Solomon introducing him to what I'm working on in seconds, right? And of course, I would never recommend that you just send the stock AI email. You should always read it and double check that it reflects your tone, style, and everything you want. But you're 90% of the way there. It's just a matter of editing versus, before having to like write the entire email from scratch, kind of, he's a good friend, this other person's more formal, la 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 la. This can all be done now in seconds versus minutes or beyond, right? So reaching out is very easy as well. Now, I don't want to go through, I want to go through a bit more things, but I want to go back to this dashboard for 1 second, and then I want to really focus the call on fundraising automation and make sure we have time for questions. So there's a lot more stuff that you should do on this page, right? You can connect your email address. I strongly recommend that you do. When you click this, you're going to see we work with Gmail and Microsoft accounts. And what you want, if you connect your account, then you're going to send email as you, which is really important. And it goes in your sent items. It's just like integrating your email. So you want to connect your email. If you have team members, you want to invite your team members, because if multiple team members are working on a prospect, whether it be a deal or an LP, you'll have an activity history of everything that each prospect did, each team member did with the prospect. So if you wrote an email to a prospect and your team member wrote an email to the prospect, you'll see all that in the history. So follow these different steps. And if you have questions, we have guides on how to do it. And we have a really powerful AI. How can I add a LP to Hub, right? And you can ask anywhere on the site, that's a weird one. Did you see that? I can't confidently answer that, Travis.
Yeah,
It should be able
interesting.
to answer it. So there you
Might have
go.
been because hub was lowercase, but yeah, it
Yeah,
should be able to answer that.
yeah. By the way, we look at questions that come in, and if we get answers like that, we fix it. But as you see, as soon as I took away Hub, it answered it correctly. So if you're ever stumped or you don't know what to do, you can ask a question here in Hub. We have a whole bunch of sample questions here for our AI. The AI is trained on how to use Hub. It's trained on everything you can ask it on VC. It doesn't have the answer to everything, but it's not a bullshit generator. So as you just saw, it said, I don't know how to answer this question, right? That's a great thing. I'd rather an LLM say, I don't know, than give me a wrong answer. And in this LLM will say, I don't know, before it gives you a wrong answer. It doesn't mean that every answer is great. So let's go back to who is Taylor Swift. It shouldn't be able to answer that. Okay. So if you get an answer that's not good, there's this green button here, you just click it, and you can then ask that question to the community, and we have top experts that will answer that question for you. It may take a day or two, but you'll get an answer to everything you have a question on. All right, so I want to go back to fundraising automation, but I want to just show you one more thing about using Hub before we do, which is you're going to see over here Decile Base. This is our sort of Q&A and AI area of the product. And there's this, in Decile Base, there's this Hub feedback area. If you ever experience a bug, if you ever experience a question about the product that's not clear and you can't answer it with the AI up here, you can put it into the Hub, or if you have an idea for a feature, put it into Hub feedback and we'll respond to it quickly. All right, let's go back to fundraising automation. I want to go back to the fundraising pipeline, and I want to cover some things that are really important for fundraising automation. All right. Before I go into stages and all this other stuff, one of the things that we do that's unique to us, but it should be, it's becoming pervasive in the industry, is we have something called PACTs. And you're going to see under the fundraising pipeline down here, you're going to see a PACT. And let me tell you what a PACT is. Probably the single biggest innovation in venture capital fundraising, full stop. Okay? Period. Now, what is a PACT? Why is it helpful? How does it work? When you're raising a fund, you need to get commitments from LPs, right? But you don't close right away because there are a number of reasons. First, on your first close, you have to get a certain amount of volume and then close, and that could take 6 months. So you could get someone to commit and say, hey, I'm going to invest, but they only actually invest 6 months later, right? Because it takes you 6 months to get the rest of the commitments. Then after your first close, if you're working with a law firm or whatever, you generally tend to bundle closes to minimize costs. So it again could take 2 months or 3 months where someone says, I'm in, and then you might wait to get some more people in, and then you'll do a second close, right? So there's this time delay. And what a PACT is a non-binding letter of intent that a LP will invest in your fund when you're ready. And so I have a lot of experience. We've helped 550 managers raise funds. I've raised 14 funds myself and helped up to 25 funds in some formal capacity, plus these 550. And when someone tells you they're going to invest, that's a 25% likelihood that they will. Sometimes it's more, but just assume it's 25%. When someone signs a PACT, it's 75%. All right. And this is from a lot of experience. Okay. So if they tell you 25%, if they sign something, whatever it is, non-binding letter of intent, aka a pact, it's 75%. In addition to that, as pacts age, so you can see right here, this is our pact page. So you go into the fundraising pipeline, you click pact. I have a bunch of signed pacts in there, and we show them by aging. So these pacts are 6 months old. These pacts are 3 to 6 months old. These pacts are less than 3 months old. Notice we color code them, right? Less than 3 months old is good. 3 to 6 months old, and 6 months old or later, not so great, right? So what happens is that 75% likelihood declines over time, and we help you visualize that to say, hey, these are some older packs, so they may not be a 75% likelihood. These are middle packs, so they're probably 75%, but maybe a little lower. And these new packs are 75%. So you can visualize the aging of the packs to help you understand the likelihood of closing. Okay. And we create a beautiful form for your LPs to sign a pact, because in the past, if you wanted someone to sign a commitment letter, you would say, hey, great, thank you for your interest. Here's a DocuSign. Could you please, and you have to send them the link. It's just a mess. So we created a completely integrated, seamless process right in the product for someone to sign a commitment letter, and you can customize the entire thing, right? So you could, so let me show you what it looks like. If you're an LP, you go to a page, you could put a video, you could put an image, you can write the text, you can write the slug, you can pick the amounts. So I'm like, oh, I'm thinking of introducing in the investing in the Decile Group demo fund. I want to put 250,000 in. My name is Adeo, and I can fill out the information here, whatever I want. I'm going to come in as an entity. I'm going to come in as a trust, joint tenant, which would mean a husband and wife as an example. So you can just fill out your different information, and then I'm going to go in as an individual, acknowledge, and then sign, and done, right? And now you've got a $250,000 commitment into the fund. And to customize that experience, just to go back, you get your link here. You see these things at the top. So you could say, okay, I want, what's the fund name? Sample Fund 1. What happens when they click and sign a pact? Well, I want them to move into the closing stage of my fundraising funnel. Who should get email notified when someone signs a pact? So you can pick the people who gets emailed. You can pick the low, medium, and high amounts of the pact. You can pick the absolute minimum that someone can put in. By the way, for everyone who's just starting out as a new manager, I would leave the low, medium, and high as 100, 250, 500. Once you get your first close done, you can increase it. And by the way, if you have someone who wants to put $1 million in, you can create a custom pack link for them, and you could put the low as $1 million, right? The medium is 1,500,000, and the high as maybe 2 million, right? And then when I preview this link, you're going to see again, now it's 1 million, 1,500,000, and 2 million. So you can create pack links for a specific LP, including whatever information you need and want, as well as even having pre-filled stuff. So you can add their name, their email, and everything you know about them very easily as well. In addition to customizing that, you can customize what the page says. So remember, it said hello before. Now we could say welcome, right? So if I save that and I go back to the PACT link here, it says welcome. You can change this image, text. You can really make this the experience you want. In just my recommendation to you, less is more. You want them signing the agreement, not reading War and Peace. So don't make it a huge page. Put a little bit of custom content there. In fact, some people don't even customize it at all. They just, because it doesn't have a lot of content out the gate, and they just leave it plain and simple. In addition to that, you can customize the agreement itself. So here's the PACT letter of intent. If you have a different letter of intent, use your letter of intent. It's not like anyone, we care. We just have a pretty standard one. This is used widely throughout the world. So you can use this one. You could use your own, whatever you want. And not only do we make it easy to customize that, but again, let's say you have an LP you want to send a pack to. You can just hit this send pack button here. Boom. Thank you for your intro. And here's the link to the pact. And you can just enter their email. Right. I'm going to send it to you, Travis. There are a lot of Travises in here. Boom. And then just hit send. And of course, you can add AI to customize it all you want. So if you want a more customized packed email, you could use AI to customize it as well. So it's super easy to do packs. Packs are vital for fundraising. They work. They're effective. And I'll leave you one other thought about packs before I show you a couple other things. When you're closing an LP, you need to get what I call a series of yeses. If you're like, send me money, they're going to be like, no, right? So you need, hey, let's get on a meeting. Yeah, I'll meet with you. Great. Would you like to see our materials? I'd love to see your materials. Second, yes. Great. That was, I now can see that you've looked at the materials because I can track everything in Decile Hub. Would you like access to the data room? I'd love to see the data room. Would you sign a pact? Absolutely, I'll sign a pact. Will you sign the LPA? Yes. Will you wire? Yes. So you want a series of yeses to get to them investing in the fund, right? And a pact is one of the yeses along the stream of yeses that you'll need to get to a close. Okay. I mentioned files, so I'll quickly show you files. We have an amazing file and data room system. You can create data rooms very easily. In fact, when you create a data room, you can click, if you see up here, create a new folder. You could add the standard Decile Hub structure, and that will include all of the standard data room folders for you automatically out the gate. And then you just need to drag and drop to load things in. So if I, let's say, go to my financials folder here, and I wanted to add something, you can't see my whole desktop, but what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to drag a file from my desktop. Well, let me open that. And right in there, so I'm going to pick, let's see what I got here. I have a boom, just drag, drop. There it is. So you literally can just drag and drop files into the data room. And then, by the way, you can give a link to share that, etc. And just to give you what it looks like, when someone looks at your file, you get a full DocSend style experience built right in, and you could do cool things. So I see, okay, these are what pages were looked at. I can look at who looked at which pages for how long, right? I can then say, I could track that in the pipeline. So the entire experience of sharing files, getting signatures, and managing a complex fundraising process is done with one tool that tracks everything and makes it easy, right? Easy for you. All right. I want to show a couple other things about fundraising and then take your questions. So there's a couple other things that you want to do when you're fundraising. Now we're talking a little bit about more mid-funnel activities. It can also be top of funnel activities. So one of the things you want to do is host events. And we have a built-in event system where you can run happy hours and the like, and you can invite people from your fundraising pipeline very easily to the events. You could take people that attend events that are limited partners and move them to your fundraising pipeline. You don't have to copy stuff from Eventbrite or download it and re-upload it and sort it. It's pre-sorted, pre-filtered, worked out for you. So as you can see here, it's just really easy to create an event. You go in the event system, hit create an event. We have templates. So VIP events are really designated for limited partners in the mid funnel. The non-VIP events are really top of funnel, right? So I would recommend everyone here run a venture happy hour in their local event, in their local city, and get limited partners to come out to the happy hour. So you just hit venture happy hour, you pick a URL, whatever it is, you enter the time, date, duration, add it, and then it will appear here. I already have a venture happy hour, so I don't want to add a second one. Get the gist. You then go in, you can customize everything. I'm going to publish it and make it live so you can see what it looks like live. Then I can go check it out. It's very easy. Done. Super easy. Like literally click, live, and you can start taking registrations. And what happens when someone registers, right? What you'll see here is what's your role? Well, I'm a limited partner. Now, every time someone registers, so let me just register right now as a limited partner, right? What will happen is you get a little pipeline of the registrations, and it's going to say Adeo RSVP'd yes. And what do you see if I scroll over? You're going to see that Adeo is a limited partner. Oh, great. I just had a limited partner register for my event, right? That's great. What do I want to do with that limited partner? Well, I want to move that limited partner into my fundraising pipeline. So I'm going to select Adeo, copy that person, and move him over to my fundraising pipeline, or limited partners pipeline. I'll put him in the added stage. It's me. So I'll go ahead and move him, or copy him, I should say. And so now if I go back to my fundraising pipeline, I'll see that Adeo is there, copied over. So again, having this integrated system is really great. And by the way, if the person that registers is an entrepreneur that I'm interested in potentially consider investing in, I could copy them to the deal flow pipeline, right? And then I'll track them as a prospective deal. So by having this integrated event system, it's very easy to invite people from that are LPs to private events. It's very easy to take people that attend an event and put them into the fundraising pipeline without exporting, importing, and all this other stuff. And that leads me to my final point: exporting, importing, and all that stuff. And then we'll do questions. So it's very, very easy to export and import people. And I'll show you a couple ways to do it. So we have an import and export button right up here. Boom, just click it. You can download a file from something and then upload it by here, clicking this.
We have a lot of people that actually export their entire LinkedIn networks and upload them right through this tool. So
It's a little, that's a little much. I would recommend I wouldn't do that. I would personally recommend more targeted LinkedIn by using the browser plugin and going after people that you suspect will be LPs or deals rather than the whole kit and caboodle. But you can import, and we have AI that figures out which fields match. So you have the ability to fix it, but the AI does a pretty good job. I've never had to change anything. It's gotten it right every time for me. And by the way, if you ever want to leave or whatever, you can just export it and you get the data in easy, you get the data out. But there's other ways to get data in and out. So if you go to settings down here, you're going to see API over here. You click on API and you're going to get your token for the browser plugin. But we also have integration with Zapier. And so whatever system you're using, Notion, Airtable, Affinity, whatever, you can connect it with Zapier. And we have Zaps, as they're called, set up for Airtable, Notion. But you could also say, connect with Notion here. And they have this AI Zap generator that will create a Zap for you. So if we don't have a Zap made, you can use the AI tool to make a Zap for you. And so what the Zapier does is if you're using, let's say, Notion and Decile Hub at the same time, the Zap will keep them synchronized. So your Notion database will stay in line with your Hub database. I think it's synchronized every couple minutes or so. So there may not be real time, but it's pretty close to real time. Now, I haven't gone through everything the tool can do simply because there just isn't enough time. And remember, there's always the AI available at the top here to answer any question that you have about fundraising, etc. But we have some pretty cool fundraising specific AIs as well. So if you, for example, want to get commitments from limited partners, we have that number 3 under your AI toolkit as a PACT advisor. And the PACT advisor is trained up on all of our knowledge on how to get PACts. And so you can brainstorm with it like, I am struggling to get an LP to sign. Am I spelling this right? The PACT. It doesn't really matter. You can have all sorts of typos and it doesn't. And so, so you put that in, and what's going to happen, here are a few things to help you do it. Boom. So whatever you're facing as a problem, you've got a little buddy, a generalized buddy at the top of the screen, and then we have some specialized buddies under the AI toolkits that can help you get PACs, overcome LP objections, come up with email ideas. We have one specifically for events, like what kind of events should I run? So we have really all the tools necessary to jumpstart and accelerate your financing to the point where we used to just I'll leave you with this thought and we'll start doing some questions. Before we had this toolkit, just with lesser tools, we were able to get GPs to a closing in about 6 months. With these tools, and that's about 3 times faster than average. With these tools, we've brought it down to 4 months or less to a first close. Okay? I want you to let that sink in. If you adopt these tools, you should be able to get into a first close in 4 months or less versus 18 months. Okay? That's insane. All right, there's a lot of stuff in the chat, maybe not so much stuff in the Q&A. I
I've been
see,
rolling through the Q&A and answering a
I
bunch.
see, I see. Thank you. So if you guys got questions, now would be a great time to pop them in the Q&A. Is there any question that came in while we wait for people to pop stuff in the Q&A, Travis, that we might want to answer for people by showing them that you answered verbally?
You've gone over a lot of the questions that people are asking already. One thing that Johnny K asked is, does the platform already have a pool of LPs who are using it to seek out suitable GPs?
Okay. And we just got another question. So let's talk about that. Yes, and the way that works is highly active users of the platform. You can, I'll show you how to do this actually. You can create a profile for yourself. Let me go back and share. So we have a whole bunch of back office stuff. So if you're using the platform a lot, under back office, you're going to see this Decile Pro settings thing here. Whoop, I scrolled past it. And you can create a profile for you and your firm. And then, so you get your thesis, your fund description, any fund news, blah, 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 wire instructions, etc. So you can start building a profile for your firm, and we will show your firm to limited partners for the most active users. What happens is we get in contact with you and we say, hey, we'd like to feature you. And we feature you and LPs can see you. And I can show you what, so you have an LP dashboard that looks, which you can see, it looks like, whoa, my computer is running a little weird here. It's not the site, this is my computer. It looks a little better. And the LP dashboard looks like this. For LPs that we work with, our LPs, they have this See More Managers button. And these are the V1 profiles. We're about to work on V2 profiles. And right now, over half of the managers that we feature are seeing up to 15% of their fund size come inbound from that. Michael's asking, would this platform be an alternative to PitchBook eventually in sourcing for fund of funds? Yeah, I'm not a fan of PitchBook in general. So in terms of finding managers to invest in, we have this See More Managers button here, right? And the new I can show you. Why don't I show the new version of that? You guys can all see it, by the way. If you go to, let's put that link in there. So could you put the matching 2.0 link in there, Domenica? So matching 2.0 is coming. So this is matching 1.0. This is matching 2.0. And you can see all about these are the richer profiles that we're launching any day. Do you have a sense of timing on that? It's going to be a couple weeks, right? A week, two.
It's going to be a couple weeks, yeah.
And then it's going to have search functions, and you're going to be able to profiles, the rich profiles of the managers, which you can see here. You're going to be able to attend events that the managers are hosting in the system as an LP. So we're really upping the game because it's working. So we're actually, and when I say it's working, like LPs love it and GPs love it. And let me explain. So if I'm an LP, I can now browse and read about managers and find people I want to meet. And if I'm a GP, I just sit there and then I start getting meetings and inbound interest from LPs that genuinely want to invest in my firm. So it ends up being like a magical experience for both sides. The LPs get to choose who they meet with because they're genuinely interested, and the GPs get genuine interest inbound. It's a magical, positive experience for everybody that is transformative in how venture capital works today. We still have a couple minutes left, so maybe I'll leave you with some thoughts and wrap because we don't have any other questions. And so I'll leave you with this, guys. You can do things the old way, or you can do things the new way. And the old way is like, excuse my French, super fucked up. Okay. You got corrupt vendors like Carta and PitchBook, which was referenced, that I don't even know where PitchBook gets their data from because we're the source of truth for 900 venture capital firms. And the stuff that PitchBook says, I saw your finger there, Travis, does not match what we see at all. It's like not correlated at all. It's like, where do they get this data? I mean, maybe the 900 firms we have on the platform are the best firms in the entire world, so they outperform what PitchBook says, and maybe PitchBook's firms are the worst firms in the world, but there's literally like they're in different universes of data. Our data's over here and PitchBook's data's over there. So the old way is broken, it's wrong, it's inefficient, it uses tools that are not secure, and it uses tools mainly from the 90s, or the new way. Travis, what were you going to say?
Oh, I'm just laughing at the chat. Jennifer says, Adeo, that's not French.
So the new look, we tried to envision what a modern venture capital fundraising process would look like with one tool, an integrated experience. We know what managers need to do. They need to get commitment letters, they need to host events, and we tried to make that, and they need to share data rooms, blah, 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 blah. And we tried to make that an integrated, magical experience built in 2024 using AI that managers would delight in, versus what you would have to do, which is a combination of many vendors, multiple spreadsheets, multiple systems, and they're all super expensive. May I add, everything I just showed you right now is free. If you're wondering how we make money, if you want to use the back office so that you can unlock all the LP reporting and accounting and all that, that costs money. It's application based. So we give the tool away for free. We give VC Lab away for free. And we make money by providing the rich back office solutions. And, you're going to need a back office. And by the way, our back office has a 94 MPS. So if you ever want to use us, you should apply. But yeah, I think that's it. Anything you want to add, Travis? Hopefully that went well.
I thought it was amazing. The new tools hang together so well, and it just makes this process so much easier than it used to be. It's really, as you say, kind of magical, I think.
It was pretty brutal in the past. Trust me, we worked with hundreds of managers to launch
Yeah.
funds, and it was just like they everything we built, by the way, managers have asked for. So we're making things that managers want. So with that said, enjoy. Hopefully you had a great time. It was lovely showing it to you. I used it to just close a financing round. We used it to close our own fund of funds. It works. And I can tell you because I use it. So with that said, enjoy. Have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah.